Unit 4, Lesson 10, deals with graphing lines from slope-intercept form. Alright, so we want to be able to find slope and y-intercept from an equation in slope-intercept form and then use that information to graph. Alright, so this is the third method of graphing that we're learning. Previously, we learned how to find x and y intercepts and use those to graph, and then in the very beginning, we learned how to make a table and use that to graph. When we learn slope-intercept form, alright, you will see that this is by far the fastest method, alright, and as long as you understand it, it'll go really quick. Alright, so a couple of things we need to understand here. First of all, alright, y equals mx plus b is considered a general form, slope-intercept form, okay, and m in the problem, right here, is the slope of the line. Okay, so we've been working with slope over the last week, so we should have an idea what that means. Alright, b is what we call the y-intercept. And we graphed with intercepts, so we understand what intercepts are. That's where the line will cross the y-axis. Okay? So the steps that we're going to follow when it comes to graphing are pretty simple. We're going to begin with the b. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and do the slope twice. Alright, and then we're going to create our line. Example 1. Before we get to graphing, let's make sure we can find our pieces and write them the correct way. Okay, so we're asked to state the slope and the y-intercept. Remember, when we talk about slope, we're talking about a fraction. Okay, so when I look at this problem, I want to make sure that I write my slope, alright, is the number that's in front of x, in this case 3, as a fraction is 3 over 1. And my y-intercept is the point is a point that has a x value of 0, and the y value is whatever this number is, including its sign, so negative 5. Alright, so again, when I look here, sorry, my highlighter. Alright, the number in front of x is slope, the number in the sign after is the y-intercept. Alright, so let's look at the next one. The number in front of x is the slope. The number after with its sign is the y-intercept. So my slope is going to be 1 over 1, and my y-intercept is going to be the point 0, 3. And I forgot my parenthesis over there, so let me go ahead and take care of that. Alright, let's take a look at C now. Alright, you'll notice in C it looks like something's missing, and you're right. Alright, well, again, we see our x, we know that the slope is in front of it. In this case, again, it's a positive 1. Alright, oops, I did the wrong thing again. There we go. We know the thing in front's positive 1. Alright, and then we look after and we see that there's nothing over here. Okay, so when there's nothing over there, our number for that is going to be 0. So this is the same as saying plus 0. Alright, so with that being said, I have my slope, once again, is 1 over 1. And my y-intercept this time is going to be 0, 0. Okay. One more of these, and I'm going to have you do E tomorrow in class. Alright. Again, these kind of look a little bit different. You got to make sure you know how to handle all the different cases. Alright. When I look at this, again, I see something's missing. In this case, the x is missing. So really what happened here is this. Alright. Where what we're looking at is the slope is 0, and anything times 0 is 0, which is why this piece was not written in the actual equation. Alright, and this piece is still your y-intercept. So when I go to write my information out, once again my slope is going to be 0, or 0 over 1 if you want to write it as a fraction. And my y-intercept is going to be the point 0, negative 4. Okay, remember a y-intercept, and make sure you write this up there, has an x value of 0, and then has a y value that you need to figure out. Alright, so please make sure we have that written up there. Again, E will be done in class tomorrow. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 4 graphing problems that we have. So we're going to use this information on the actual graph. Alright, again, when it comes to graphing, we begin with the B, we do the slope twice, and then we draw a line. Okay? You would do the slope more than twice, but twice is enough to get a pretty accurate line. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is highlight my information. My slope, once again, is 1 over 1 in this problem. And my y-intercept is 0, 3. So I begin with the b. It's called a y-intercept because it's on the y-axis. Don't forget that. And from there, I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And again, we could keep doing this as many times as we want. The more you do it, the more accurate your line will be. Alright, and then we make our line as long as possible using a straight edge. Alright, I get to cheat because I had the computer draws a straight line for me. You should be using an ID or a ruler. Alright, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, I have the number in front of x is -2, so my slope is going to be -2 over 1, and my y-intercept is going to be 0, -4. So again, we begin with b, 1, 2, 3, 4, and from there we count our slope. Remember, negative slope means to go down, 1, 2, always to the right. Down 1, 2, always to the right, 1, 2, always to the right. Again, we could go backwards if we want more points. Backwards would be up 2 and left, up 2 and left, and so on. Okay? Then once again, use that straight edge to connect those dots and create your line. There we go. Alright. We're going to leave C for class tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and do D together. Alright. Again, when I look at problem D here, example D, I know my slope, again, is 2/3. Alright. And my y-intercept is the piece that's missing after x. So that makes it 0, 0. So when I begin at B, I put a dot at 0, 0. And from there, I'm going to count up 2 over 3. Up 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. Alright. I could go also do the backwards. That was an accident. Let me erase that. Alright. I could also go backwards, which would be down 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2 over 1, 2, 3. Alright. Now I have a lot of dots. Helps make my line nice and straight. And here we go. Use that ruler, please, as you do this. And we have a perfectly straight line and a graph of that with very little work. So slope-intercept form is nice because it's nice and quick, alright, as long as you know how to use it. Alright, see you in class tomorrow.